Morning. All right. I wanted to talk about um, the current transits over America's natal chart as it relates to the election and everything that's going on in America and the current conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto at 22 degrees Capricorn. Okay, so um, I found some interesting things I think that I want to talk about and point to. All right, so Jupiter and Pluto are conjunct here in Capricorn. Jupiter is not very strong in Capricorn because it's exalted in Cancer, and it's opposite there, so it's not very strong. Um, and with Pluto, the conjunction. Um, It's an interesting conjunction, I think, because well, a lot of people have related it to the pandemic that's going on, and they've tracked past Jupiter-Pluto conjunctions with similar pandemics, and I do think that's related. Also, Pluto-Saturn conjunction, which we had last winter, that's also related to the current pandemic, and we're seeing a rise now in cases of coronavirus. So I think that's related. But this is the last of the transits. There was a triple transit between Jupiter and Pluto, and this is the last of them. So hopefully after this, coronavirus will just go away. That would be ideal, and that's what I'm predicting and hoping for. Jupiter likes to expand things. It's very benefic, as they say. It's very positive. It's philosophical and brings blessings wherever it lands. So it's a very good planet. We always love Jupiter. Pluto, on the other hand, brings destruction, chaos, turmoil, but evolution also, and on the positive side, creativity. It brings, out of its ashes comes new life. So Pluto is not totally bad. It's just how it goes about bringing positivity is often very painful. So Pluto transits and conjunctions can be very difficult, but the end result is very good because Pluto is about evolution. And sometimes we need to destroy the past in order for the new things to come about. And in Capricorn, it's dealing with the so-called patriarchy, as everyone's talking about the patriarchy and government and structures and hierarchies and things like that, of that nature. And it's in America's second house, so it's also pointing to a reevaluation of American values, what we value as a nation, as a society. And also there's a lot to do with actual material net worth, things getting destroyed. We see that with the businesses that have been getting destroyed, cities, a lot of destruction. So it's not an easy time, obviously. And Jupiter and Pluto. It's interesting how they relate to the election, but I'll get to that. It's kind of opposite. It's almost opposite America's Mercury. And I left the solar eclipse in, which is the postnatal solar eclipse, which happened on July 15th, so less than 2 weeks away. I thought it was relevant because America's Mercury is retrograde in Cancer in the 8th house, and there was a solar eclipse right after the founding of America. Almost, it's less than a degree away from America's Mercury, and that deals with communication and media and being in the 8th house, which is water house, in Cancer, which is water sign, retrograde, which furthers the sort of karmic inward secret theme, and the solar eclipse further enhances that. The theme being sort of dishonesty and secrecy and hiding as far as communication goes. And we're definitely witnessing that with, you know, the fake news, pandemics, the news media, lying, deceiving. There's so much dishonesty in America, and America really is, that's been highly accented in these past few years, and it's continuing to be that, just the level of manipulation and secrecy and dishonesty and that's aspecting that this conjunction of Pluto and Jupiter is bringing that to light as well, because it's almost exactly opposite. Oppositions are discordant because they're just like too polarized, you know. And even we have somewhat of a cardinal cross or square, grand cross with Juno opposite Chiron in Aries, Juno in the 10th, Chiron in the 4th. Juno is the planet of marriage, and Juno's on the side of the law here with Saturn, exalted Saturn in Libra, directly opposite Chiron in the 4th in Aries, pointing to, this is the 4th house deals with the past and the family and roots, and Chiron being sort of an outcast. Chiron as an asteroid is it's misshapen. It's hard to categorize. We don't know exactly what it is, whether it's an asteroid or has qualities of, I think, of a comet, an asteroid. Anyway, Chiron is sort of an outcast, and this very much points to how America deals with minorities, and as I already pointed out, Native Americans, Blacks, Hispanics, and everything, and homeless, just generally the people, this class disparity in general, we can see big time here. Like, marriage is on the side, and not just marriage. Marriage is symbolic of the law bringing people together, right? So there's kind of this opposition with the outcasts of American society that is being, again, it's being highlighted with this 22-degree Capricorn cardinal conjunction between Pluto and Jupiter. So we have this grand cross. We have America's dishonest, secret, manipulative media, which, I mean, anyone who thinks that the media is trustworthy is just not very intelligent. That's all I got to say. Like, it's not. The mainstream media just lies and lies and lies and lies and lies and lies some more. They're just the most dishonest thing anywhere in the world. I mean, that's very evident. And America is highly secretive. And we get so much, it's just very frustrating, to be honest. Okay, so this square is squares are very motivating, but very challenging. And we're seeing this play out here, and this conjunction is going to bring all that to light even more so. It's hitting on America's Pluto too. It's not super close, but all these conjunctions, all this energy and tension right here is activating America's Pluto again, bringing in all that destruction that we talked about. Same theme. It is in conjunct America's Mars, so 21, that's a tight in conjunction, which an in conjunction is 5/12. So it's like, it's not an easy aspect. And furthermore, the North Node is at 20 degrees. So America's aggression is highlighted now and will be with this conjunction. Because it's not an easy aspect, and it's going to create tension. There could be more discord. There could be some more riots. Who knows how it's going to play out? Aggressive in Gemini, just aggressive communications, media, just verbal sort of sparring, a lot of things like that. Just the general aggression is highlighted here. Let's see. Neptune is almost opposite America's natal Neptune. It's not there yet. We're at 18. Where is it? Neptune 18 Pisces, and America's at 22. But that's coming up in the future, and that's calling for a rewrite of things to come. Of America's dream is represented here. Our healthcare industry, our higher education, philosophy, religion, all these things are on the table for to be looked at and to be re-evaluated, because oppositions to natal, transit to natal, are turning points, time for rewrites, renegotiations, replanning. So that's coming into being. Let's see what else. There's actually a grand trine that's forming here with Vesta. It's a few degrees out, but it's still there. So this conjunction is not all bad, because Neptune and Vesta are supporting it. Vesta here in the 6th house cusp in Taurus. Vesta's the eternal flame. So this is dealing with America's economy, especially in Taurus, the practical side of things, workforce, agriculture. Vesta is keeping our economy lit, and it's being supported here by this grand trine. The American dream, for now, is still alive, so I don't foresee any major disasters to the economy in the near future. Jupiter is still benefic. It still has very positive attributes. This grand trine so I don't think that this conjunction is all bad, right? We have some good, some bad. It's part of a grand square and a grand trine, grand cross and a grand trine. So it's very motivating, very challenging, but also the trine is a very positive thing. Grand trines are one of the most positive aspects. Speaking of agriculture, I found this is interesting. That there's a Nessus actually return, 10 degrees. Nessus is at 10 degrees, and it's at nearly 9 degrees. So we just had it. This is Nessus deals with abuse. So and returns are very karmic, and it's conjunct Ceres, which deals with agriculture, practical philosophy, and mothering, nurturing, caring. So I mean, there's a lot, and it's in the 3rd house. There's a lot of correlations we could make with that, with everything that's been going on recently. Nessus tends to be a more negative asteroid. Abuse is related to the mythology, has to do with rape. So just a lot of dark negative things. And I found it interesting that it's natally it's conjunct Ceres, which is agriculture. And if you know about America's food system, we certainly do not have a very benevolent food system. We have a food system that is very highly abusive. The worst foods are subsidized, and anything that's healthy and good for you is you have to pay more for, because they make it more expensive with their organic certification, and just in general it's changing. All that is changing, and the Nessus return over Ceres maybe has something to do with it. Who knows? Probably does. What else? Okay. The election is the big topic that of the day, and how does it relate? Well, something I haven't seen, which I realized, which is, all right, first of all, who represents which candidate? Okay, I think if we're going to be really straightforward and honest, we'd have to say Jupiter represents Trump and Saturn represents Biden. Why? Because Jupiter deals with riches, first of all. Trump's a billionaire. Jupiter wants freedom. It wants expansion. It wants all the good things. And that's Trump's main, things, freedom, America, expansion. Saturn wants restriction. And this is not good, bad. Saturn and Jupiter both, as planets go, they are both have their places, and they're both necessary. But Saturn deals with restriction. Saturn deals with laws. Saturn deals with mandates. Saturn deals with conforming, and it's not. Saturn is about has a broader picture because Saturn is also co-ruler of Aquarius, so it deals with the more like social aspects of Aquarius. So Saturn is definitely Biden. Biden wants more restriction. Biden wants to make mandates. Biden wants to make mask mandates, vaccine mandates, all kinds of mandates. Just the law. He just wants to control everyone, and he's very socialism is much more on Saturn. Saturn frequency. Saturn represents socialism much more than Jupiter. Jupiter is just freedom and expansion and growth and money and wealth. The really interesting thing, okay, so Jupiter is not very strong in Capricorn, like I already said. So Pluto wants to sort of bring down Jupiter's enthusiasm. Pluto likes to crumble things. So, if Jupiter is Trump, then Pluto is kind of crumbling Jupiter's enthusiasm and growth. But something I haven't seen mentioned before, Pallas Athena is exactly conjunct this Jupiter and Pluto conjunction. So it's a 3-planet conjunction, actually. And Pallas Athena, if you know mythology, Pallas is related to Zeus, to Jupiter. It's Pallas Athena is the daughter of Jupiter, of Zeus, and Pallas Athena, in one story, comes out of his, they chop Zeus's head open, and then Pallas Athena comes out of Zeus's head, Jupiter's head. So there's all these interconnections, and they work together very well. And Zeus actually Jupiter overthrows Saturn. Saturn's Kronos. The mythology is very convoluted, but Saturn tries to eat Jupiter, and it doesn't happen. And eventually Jupiter overthrows Saturn. So with the aid of Pallas, Jupiter is actually very strong here because Pallas Athena represents strategy, and Trump is big on strategy. Remember the art of war and all that. She represents strategy. She represents the art of war. She represents pattern recognition, wisdom, justice. So Jupiter, even though not being very strong in Capricorn, has Pallas Athena during this conjunction. So, I see a twist. I see a big twist of fate here. It's being challenged. Jupiter is getting help with the feminine Pallas Athena. Maybe it's Melania, maybe it's his daughter Ivanka, or just in general. He's being aided. So, and we're seeing that if you're following along with the what's going on with the elections, the fraud, the court cases, the watermarks, the blockchain, the military. We're looking at some major power struggles and twists and turns, and it's not over, guys. This is a rare conjunction we have right now, and what's interesting is that Jupiter and Saturn will be conjunct at 0 degrees Aquarius at December 21st. So as far as what that means for the election at that point, I don't know. Well, I can say this. Saturn is the co-ruler of Aquarius, Jupiter is not, but in esoteric astrology, Jupiter is the ruler of Aquarius. So, you know, it's not, there's no clear winner yet. I favor Trump. I favor Jupiter. Jupiter has Pallas Athena, which is definitely on Jupiter's side in this conjunction. So that's my analysis of current transits for this conjunction and the current election cycle. All right. Thanks, guys.